Sergeant Arms will please secure the chamber doors. Members, please take your seats. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. President.
All right, Senators, we are very pleased this evening to have Reverend Jennifer Karsner from Asbury United Methodist Church in Arnold, Maryland, guest of the Distinguished Senator from the 33rd District. Please rise for the invocation. All yours.
Let us pray. Lord, this work is never easy and rarely convenient. Tonight, as we intentionally inconvenience ourselves for the sake of others, we ask not for comfort, but that you expand our capacity for discomfort. Expand our tolerance for our own discomfort as we hold space for others, for different experiences, different needs, different perspectives, especially those that challenge our own and unsettle us. And expand our capacity to tolerate the disappointment of others when they don't agree with decisions we made, the fear of change, the anxiety of the unknown, and the all too often anger and frustration that turns personal. As you stretch us, meet us again in this moment of stillness. Attune our hearts to your silence. Not the empty silence of absence, but your silence that is spacious and abundant, teeming with life and honoring the frailest and quietest of your creation. Tune our hearts to this silence of yours, that we may hear what we are usually too busy, too harried, too efficient to hear. For the longer we stay in this silence of yours, the more we become aware of the tentative wrestling of safety being sought, the joyful melody of one coming fully alive, the skittering of just trying to make it through another day, and among it all, our own deepest longings. So as the amen is spoken and the noise resumes, may your silence linger, conveniently inconvenient. May it be so. Amen.
Well done. Thank you. That was very nice. Thank you very much. Chair recognizes the Senator from the 33rd District.
Thank you, Mr. President. It is a pleasure to welcome back Reverend Karsner, who brings a unique and diverse background to her role as pastor at Asbury United Methodist Church in Arnold. Growing up as the daughter of career Army officers, Reverend Karsner experienced a nomadic childhood living in various parts of the United States. Her commitment to service extended to the national parks, where she volunteered in the Christian ministry, organizing and leading worship services in Grand Teton National Park for park employees and guests. She also traveled extensively to Israel and Jordan, where she explored the historic biblical sites and participated in an archaeological dig focused on the material objects of biblical times. This diverse range of experiences has shaped Reverend Karsner's perspective and approach to ministry. Reverend Karsner continues to actively contribute to the broader Methodist community as representative on the Young Adult Council of the Baltimore-Washington Conference of the United Methodist Church. She is married to Asbury United Methodist Church Youth Director Scott, who is here with us this evening, along with her three children, Peter, Grace, and Mark. Last year when they were here, we said hello to them through the streaming, so I was very happy to see them here with us this evening. At Asbury United Methodist Church, Reverend Karsner embraces the church's mission, emphasizing unconditional love, inclusivity, and a commitment to justice for all. And I would ask that her invocation be journalized. Thank you.
Absolutely. Without objection, we will journalize the wonderful remarks and welcome her children and husband today for joining us as well. Thank you for joining us, and thanks for borrowing us this evening, for being able to join us on the floor tonight. All right. Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland is now in session on what is this officially blue, very, very, very blue Monday. Tough game, very tough game. But it's just football. Live to fight another year. All right, we've got a number of introductions tonight. Who do we want to begin with here? Introductions? Oh, we have a resolution. Yes, of course, that's right, yes. Starting from the 33rd District. We have a busy night.
Indeed. Colleagues, ask that you join me in extending a warm welcome to the members of the Arundel Bay Area Chapter of Jack and Jill of America Incorporated, present here in the gallery, I believe, also with us today. Above, Jack and Jill of America stands as one of the oldest African-American-led nonprofit organizations dedicated to cultivating the next generation of African-American leaders and enriching the lives of all children. Nationally, the organization boasts 262 chapters representing a collective of over 50,000 family members. Each chapter follows an overarching 5-point programmatic thrust encompassing cultural awareness, educational development, health, civic engagement, and social recreational activities. The Arundel Bay Area chapter of the Jack and Jill of America, Inc. was established in 1988 by 6 mothers from the Glen Burnie area of Anne Arundel County, led by the Honorable Christine Davenport. Tonight, we are honored to have with us the chapter president, Kimberly Mosley Golder, and teen president, Riley Dove, who will be accepting a floor resolution. Ms. Dove is the daughter of John Dove, Commissioner of the Occupational and Professional Licensing for the Department of Labor, and Rhonda Caldwell Dove, who many of you may know, works for Madam Speaker across the hall. It is indeed a pleasure to host them, and I kindly request that the resolution be read in full.
Clerk will read the resolution in full.
Be it hereby known to all that the Senate of Maryland offers its sincerest congratulations to Jack and Jill America Arundel Bay Area Chapter in recognition of the past 36 years of dedication to nurturing future African American leaders through cultural awareness, leadership development, and philanthropic giving. The entire membership extends its best wishes on this memorable occasion and directs this resolution be presented on this 29th day of January 2024.
The clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their vote? If so, the clerk will take the call. To the leaders of Jack and Jill of America for 36 years, congratulations and thank you for your great work. Excellent. All right, Senator from Howard, Chair of Budget and Tax. Chair of Budget and Tax, Doctor? Okay, that's all right. We'll circle back. Let's see, Senator from the 21st District?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Tonight was 21st District night in Annapolis, as the President knows, because he kindly came and joined our constituents. It was a quite raucous group. We're not sure whether it was the Anne Arundelans or the Prince Georgians who were the more raucous.
Tough battle.
But a good time was had by all. Now, many of our constituents love Western Anne Arundel and love Laurel and love Beltsville and College Park and Adelphi, that they're already on their way home. But a few folks were interested in what we're doing, and I believe we have some 21st District constituents in the gallery and some over in the House gallery. Is there any 21st District constituents? Please
we
rise
do.
and be recognized. Let's give a
Welcome to the
warm Senate welcome
21st.
to our 21st District constituents.
Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. All right, additional introductions. Chair recognizes Senator from District 11.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming my constituent, a friend of mine, a neighbor of mine. I know he's a friend to many of you, Yehuda Newberger. He is a member of the Board of Regents and just a volunteer and public servant par excellence.
Absolutely. Welcome. Thanks for joining us today. All right, additional introductions. Chair recognizes Senator from District 12.
Thank you, Mr. President. The state has 3 medical schools here, and we have guests from 2 of those medical schools in the rear gallery. If we could ask the body to give a warm welcome to medical students from Johns Hopkins School of Medicine and also the University of Maryland School of Medicine.
Excellent. Welcome to the young doctors here in Maryland. I saw those white coats and thought for sure we would have the senator from District 12 would be. We look forward to your ongoing work. Co-chair of the Protocol Committee?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. Colleagues, we have another group of pages who are here with us this evening. If you could give them a round of applause. We're going to start with Folashade Epibino from Montgomery County, a student at Seneca Valley High School, District 15.
Welcome.
Next, we have Flamatu Fofana from Carroll County, a student at Liberty High School, District 5.
Welcome.
Next, we have Priyanka Gupta from Frederick County, District 3, a student at Tuscarora High School.
Welcome.
Next, we have Laura Hilskamp from Garrett County, District 1, a student at Northern Garrett High School.
Welcome.
Akil Leggett Jr. from Anne Arundel County, from District 30, a student at Annapolis Senior High School. Next, we have Anya Mangaroban from Baltimore County, District 7, a student at Perry Hall High School. Next, we have Matthew McKay, whose name may sound familiar to many of you, from Allegheny County, a student at Center for Career and Technical Education, District 1, and son of the senator from the 1st District.
Excellent. Welcome. Make sure to keep him busy.
And then finally, we have Rohan Warrior from Howard County, District 13, a student at Oakland Mills High School. Thank you, Mr. President.
Welcome. Got a nice, great page class. Some progeny page class members. You know, it's excellent. It's very good. Very good. We're gonna have a great week. We're gonna have a busy week. Not too busy, but we're gonna have a good week. Any other introductions? Any other introductions? We do have one more formal introduction. Just before we get any others? If not, all right. Chair recognizes the senator from Montgomery County.
Thank you, Mr. President, and good evening, colleagues. It is an honor for me this evening to recognize the good work of this body last session. Because of the unanimous vote of this chamber and our colleagues across the hallway, this past January 27th was the inaugural Holocaust Remembrance Day. Thanks to my colleagues in the Jewish Legislative Caucus, I'm going to offer just a couple of words about it. And what I'm going to do is read from the very brief bill that created this new Remembrance Day, because I believe it embodies the intent and the purpose and the goal of having Holocaust Remembrance Day every January 27th. So with that, colleagues, the language reads as follows. Whereas the Holocaust, the state-sponsored systematic persecution and murder of Jews by Nazi Germany and its collaborators, resulted in the murder of 6 million Jewish men and women, including 1.5 million children. Millions of survivors of the Holocaust endured great suffering through violence, torture, slave labor, and brutal medical experimentation. Prejudice, bigotry, bias, and racism have been and continue to be the cause of conflict, war, and mass atrocities. Research shows that the tragedy that is the Holocaust is quickly being forgotten, which will inevitably lead to an increased likelihood of ethnic cleansing, genocide, terrorism, and crimes against humanity. Social media has proven to be a platform for spreading misinformation, lies, and hate. Holocaust denial, the effort to minimize the historical reality and barbarism of the Holocaust and the vast extent of death and carnage it caused, is becoming commonplace. Remembering the Holocaust offers an opportunity to study and reflect on the moral responsibilities of individuals, societies, and governments. It is also important to remember, honor, and emulate the righteous people, including the Allied forces, who risked their lives to save thousands of innocent people during the Holocaust, and for all of us to learn from their legacy of courage, selflessness, and hope. Finally, it directs the governor to do the following annually. The governor shall annually proclaim January 27 as Maryland Holocaust Remembrance Day, a day of reflection, recollection, and determination for Maryland families, educators, religious communities, political bodies, and media to remember the human tragedy that is the Holocaust. A pledge to spread the lessons and the reality of the Holocaust to future generations in an effort to ensure that we never forget and bear witness to the mass slaughter of human beings as a consequence of prejudice, bigotry, ignorance, and hate. Colleagues, while the scale of the bloodshed and destruction of the Holocaust is unique in the history of the world, its singular focus on the hate of Jews is sadly not at all unique and was simply the culmination of 2,000 years of discrimination and prejudice across the globe directed at the Jewish people. Unfortunately, to this day, Jews cannot be left in peace to go about their daily lives without the reality that given the opportunity, there are those who would welcome to do harm. This past October 7th, the world witnessed the worst butchery of Jews since the ashes of the Holocaust. One of Israel's many hostile neighbors launched thousands of missiles and rockets at civilian targets and crossed over the border where they raped, burned, and butchered 1,400 people going about their daily mourning activities. Additionally, they kidnapped 240 parents, grandparents, children, infants, brothers, and sisters. Colleagues, one of the most profound and repeated phrases among Jews post-Holocaust is simply 2 words: never again. Never again. To the majority of Jews, and particularly those who live in the indigenous homeland of the Jewish people, those words do not ring hollow, but are the mantra of a people who have dreamed for 2,000 years of living in a safe, peaceful, and just world where all people can practice freedom of religion without discrimination. Colleagues, it is also my honor this evening to introduce a delightful woman who's a resident of Legislative District 17, the good senator from Rockville and Gaithersburg. And she has asked me to just read a few words that she wrote. Her name is Marcia Tischler. She's a Holocaust survivor who was born in Poland during the Holocaust. The following are her words. Among the 6 million Jews murdered during the Holocaust, there were 1.5 million children. They died afraid, hungry, in pain, hunted, and brutalized. 18 of my first cousins from ages 1 to 20 were included. I was 13 weeks old when my parents reluctantly gave me away in order to save my life. In the police station where I ended up, half of the men wanted to kill me because I was a Jew. The others refused to help me because they thought I was Polish. The life of a Jewish infant had no value. I am here by the grace of God and the courage and compassion of a Ukrainian couple who protected me for 2.5 years. During that time, my parents were hunted in the forests like animals, often by young collaborators. Some nights when my father was forced to beg for bread, shots were fired at him and dogs were set loose on him. Within 6 months after my birth, 33 members of my parents' immediate family were murdered. Hatred permeated their bleak existence. It would have been easy for my parents to give up, but they did not. They persevered and rose above their victimhood. They became survivors. As a survivor, I thank you this evening for the honor of representing those 6 million who cannot be here to speak tonight. Eventually, Ms. Tischler immigrated to the United States, graduating from the University of Maryland, College Park, and Johns Hopkins University, and again currently lives in Rockville. Colleagues, please join me in welcoming Ms. Marcia Tischler, who is with us this evening.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your words and your remarks. Chair recognizes the senator from the 17th District.
Mr. President, will the thoughtful and moving remarks of the gentleman from District 19 please be journalized?
Without objection, we will journalize the remarks, and the good news is many of them are part of state law, which we appreciate the leadership to make that possible. So thank you, Senator, and hard times, but it's important to remember, never again. All right, hard to transition from that, but onwards, the work continues. Without objection, we'll waive the reading of the journal from the prior legislative day. We have a fair amount of things to get through today, so we'll do the best we can. We'll start with the introduction of Senate bills. This is calendar number 21. The clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 633, Senator Klossmeyer, Maryland Self-Service Storage Act, Sale of Personal Property and Satisfaction of Liens, Means of Advertising, Finance.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bills. They'll be referred to their appropriate standing committee. We have calendar number 22. Clerk will read the bills.
Senate Bill 666, Senator Charles, Human Relations, Discrimination by a Place of Public Accommodation, Judicial Proceedings. Senate Bill
Majority Leader moves
666
so be considered the reading of the bills. They'll be referred to their appropriate standing committee. We have a Senate joint resolution, calendar 23. Clerk will read the resolution.
Senate Joint Resolution Number 2, Senator Carter, Use of Nuclear Weapons, Education, Energy, and the Environment.
All right, the bill will be referred to its standing committee. We have some bond, actually, before we get to the bond initiatives, just senators, so that you know, we are exactly 102% above the number of bills where we were this year, last year. We are 102% above where we were so 100% more bills this year. It's about 364 bills more right now than we had last year at this time. So it's going to be a busy session. All right, we have Senate bond initiatives. This is calendar number 12. Clerk will read the bond initiatives.
Number 1, Senator A. Washington, Beale Circle Stormwater Management, Budget and Taxation.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives. They will be referred to the Capital Budget Subcommittee. We have number 13. Clerk will read the calendar.
Number 1, Senator Hayes, Baltimore Ravens Boys and Girls Club at Hilton Recreation Center, Budget and Taxation.
Majority Leader moves so be considered the reading of the bond initiatives. Please refer them to the Capital Budget Subcommittee. We have an announcement from the Governor. Message from the Executive.
Dear Mr. President, pursuant to the authority conferred on me by Article 3, Section 52, Subsection 5 of the Constitution of Maryland, and in accordance with the consent of the House of Delegates, Duly granted, I hereby submit supplemental budget number 1 to Senate Bill 360, House Bill 350 in the form of an amendment to the budget for fiscal year ending in June 30th, 2025. Supplemental budget number 1 affects the previously estimated funds available for budget operations as shown in the following summary statement. Sincerely, Wes Moore, Governor.
All right, Senators, this is the first supplemental budget of the year. We'll refer it to the Budget and Taxation Committee. Nothing too surprising in here, but make sure to take a look. Our Budget and Tax Committee will scrutinize it with detail, we are certain. All right, if we could do a quorum call before third reading calendar, Madam Clerk.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. We have third reading calendar number 2. These are bills out of the Finance Committee. Clerk will read the first bill.
Senate Bill 225, Chair, Finance Committee, Occupational Safety and Health Advisory Board, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 225 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 225, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 236, Chair, Finance Committee, State Acupuncture Board, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 236 is on third reader, final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 236, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 237, Chair, Finance Committee, State Board for Certification of Residential Child Care Program Professionals, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 237 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 237, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 238, Chair, Finance Committee, State Board of Dietetic Practice, Sunset Extension.
Senate Bill 238 is on third reader for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 238, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. Clerk will read the next bill.
Senate Bill 245, Chair, Finance Committee, Maryland Community Health Resources Commission, Sunset Extension and Program Evaluation.
Senate Bill 245 is on third reading for final passage. Any discussion? If not, clerk will call the roll.
Mr. President,
Has everyone recorded their vote? Anyone wish to change their vote, explain their vote? If not, the clerk will take the call. With 46 votes in the affirmative, Senate Bill 245, having received a constitutional majority, is declared passed. That does it. The desk is clear tonight. It looks like Triple E, the side of the room is pumping out bills. This side of the room is evaluating bills. You know, we're getting there. No, everyone's doing a great job. We got a lot of work to do. This is going to be a big year. So it's going to be busy. It's going to be busy. All right, let's check in. Any committee announcements? Chair Finance, Triple E, Budget and Tax, Chair of Judicial Proceedings.
Thank you, Mr. President. No formal announcement, but just a kind of a PSA. Just for folks that are coming through the JPR, for the members, please pace yourself this week because this time last year we had 88 bills in committee. We have just shy of 200. Okay, so we're going to have to take the unorthodox measure of voting and hearing bills on Fridays. Also, we have no less than 15 bills every single day. So when folks are coming, just pay attention to the new protocols that we're putting forward. Also, just think about the witnesses. Like, do you need the extra witness? Do you need the extra organization? Can you curtail your testimony? Because we've got a long haul ahead of us. So just a little PSA. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senator. And just remember, time is everybody's enemy. So as you're presenting your bills, just make sure concise brevity is the thing of genius. Brevity is genius. All right. Yes. Chair recognizes the senator from Harford County.
Thank you, Mr. President. We get up again and announce Polar Bear Plunge. It's coming up this Friday.
Chilly, cooling down this week too.
It is. Well, I just looked at the Annapolis buoy, and it's reading at 39.8 degrees is the water temperature. But remember, we're doing this for the kids. Those that, are in Special Olympics, it really does mean a lot to them. Some of them are there, they thank us. And when you watch, the donors, when they give us the money and those kids get it and are able to go to the Special Olympics and compete, it means a lot to them. That's why we're doing this. But we're also doing it for the memory of our colleague, Doug, that we lost. He had a family member, his grandson, that, one day was going to, do these events. So Doug talked us into it. We did it. So I'm asking, even if you're not going to plunge, just come out. It's nice. It's what, 10-minute drive to Sandy Point State Park. You can sit in the tent and watch us run in. And Mr. President, I actually have breaking news that we actually, not only are we going to have legislators plunge this year, but the Secretary of the Senate's office is going to plunge also.
All right. We got it.
Not all of them, but a couple have stepped up. They're getting T-shirts made up.
Full office. That's excellent.
It's going to be awesome. So again, I don't want to get up every day and remind you, but please think about it. If you're not going to plunge, at least come out, watch us do it, watch us freeze. And donate. Yes, donate. I know I did talk to Dia. She said it was okay because this is charity. Some of us do have sites. I think Secretary is actually leading the donation page right now. She's got the most donations. So do it for the kids. Thank you.
Excellent. All right. Other announcements, select committees. Yes, Chair of the Democratic Caucus.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. The Senate Democratic Caucus will be meeting in person tomorrow at 9 a.m. in the caucus room.
Excellent. Chair of the, Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Senate Republican Caucus will be meeting at 8:30 tomorrow morning, and all are invited.
Thank you. Very welcoming. All right. Any other announcements before we adjourn? If not, thank you again to the Senator Chair of the Montgomery County Delegation. Thank you for your remarks this evening. All right. Let's do a quorum call before adjourn.
Mr. President?
Has everyone recorded their presence? If so, the clerk will take the call. With 46 members in the chamber and a quorum being present, the Senate of Maryland remains in session. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. President. I move the Senate of Maryland stand adjourned until Tuesday, January 30th at 10 a.m.
Without objection, so ordered, 10 a.m. Stay safe. See you all bright and early in the morning.